I'm Rev Andy Dovey. I'm the lead for chaplaincy and spiritual care and manager of bereavement services for one of our national NHS hospitals. I had 35 years in the oil industry in procurement and contracts, and at the same time I had a ministry back at home in the Anglican Church. And during that time I felt the calling to be ordained. And I really look forward to a church ministry and at some point having my own church. However, that never really worked out, and eventually I was asked if I would like to do some volunteering work in the hospital, which I did, and I didn't like. But I thought it was important to do it because that's where people need us most. So I spent 9 years volunteering 1 day a week. And then I got the call to say the ecumenical chaplain was leaving. Would I apply for the job? And I thought, absolutely not. I couldn't bear to do that job full time. And inappropriately felt the need that I had to apply for it. So I did. I then got called for an interview, which I dreaded and really didn't want the job. I successfully was appointed as the new ecumenical chaplain and started my first day as that in a new post. I dreaded the day. I dreaded all day on the first day, the second day and the third day. And after 2 weeks, I decided that I had made the awful mistake that I had made. And then something happened in the hospital and I really can't remember what it was. And I got deeply involved in some events. And that's when I realised that actually that was my true calling. And from that day onwards, and that's the last 6 years, I've never regretted a day in that hospital. And I look forward to, with excitement, with dread, and with heartache sometimes, to go into the hospital and to be there and provide that ministry that people look for. Our call to chaplaincy ministry is very varied. It covers a true cradle to grave. We're there for the births and we're there at the end of life as well. It provides us with opportunities to not only be there for the loss, but to share in the recovery, to share in those that have been so terminally ill that they felt that they may not survive. And we walk with them on their path in the hospital in that journey. We represent our faith and all that they seek from their faith through us as God's agents. It's a time when we can celebrate many things. Even in the loss of life, we celebrate in our butterfly service all of the children and babies that have passed. It's a celebration of life, giving parents and relatives the opportunity to remember those that have gone and to keep them alive in their hearts and their minds. The hospital chaplains are there to serve not only patients and relatives, but a big part of it is also the staff and the volunteers that work there. Chaplaincy is available 24/7. We can get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We have 30 minutes if we're outside the hospital to be in and to provide that care to whoever needs us. We provide a whole range of care to all of those that we encounter, from conducting funeral services, providing normal services in our hospital, to provide anointing, last rites, and to be there to hold the hands of those that are alone and may need somebody with them. To give pastoral care to all, particularly patients that have nobody. It may not be a religious encounter, but it's certainly a pastoral and a spiritual one to give them that encouragement, that spiritual uplift will work with them and provide them some strength in recovery. So we work very closely with our maternity team, particularly around miscarriage and baby loss, providing care to the parents, to the relatives, but also to the staff that are involved with that loss, because it does affect everybody. We work very closely with our palliative care team on those that are on the palliative care list and who we know will either pass away in our hospital or be transferred to a local hospice. And that's really key in the end of life that we give and the encouragement and the support that we can provide. The qualities that a chaplain needs, I think, are very different to those in a normal church environment. There has to be the ability to provide empathy and to understand the needs of the individual people at whatever stage of life they're in. It has to be a reflective ministry because no two encounters are the same. You could have two people dying of the same illness, but actually they will both need very different, potentially, pastoral care and spiritual care. Their lives are different and they react differently. It needs to be somebody that people feel they can approach, that they feel that they are a human being, just like them. Yes, we wear a dog collar, and that's important to them because it's about presence and being there. And our behaviours and the way that we work with them provides them an essence of God's presence with them. And we have to give that amount of care to make sure that we really truly connect with them and with their relatives. Yes, we need to know the scriptures, but mostly we need to be approachable and to be able to connect with each and every person. Chaplaincy these days is not just about the Anglican Church. It's not just about the Roman Catholic Church. We live in a culture of diversity, both culturally and religiously. And our teams in the hospitals now work very much in a multi-faith environment. And it's really important that we understand other people's faiths. And it's not about the differences, but it's about the connectivity, the common factors between them all. Preparing people for a role in chaplaincy is really key to us. It's a difficult role, and in some respects, we will never be fully prepared for anything. But we can attempt to do that. And in our training courses, that's what we aim to do. We have people from St Augustine's that come to our hospital on placement, and we try to give them an overview of what chaplaincy is all around, the good side and the difficult side. And we hope that in the future we'll be able to work with St Augustine's to actually put a training course on that will help to explore chaplaincy and people's roles that they can play in that, and hopefully encourage them to come and join us in the hospitals in what I think is the most rewarding ministry that there is.